Fast.
Yes, they have. And girl,
Okay, you guys, we are live. This is our Boss Babe call. Week number 5 today is February the 10th and 2025, and this is our Boss Babe Trailblazer edition. And so we're so excited to have just another great speaker tonight. And so we want to start off with a verse from our book, and we're kind of just doing them in order. And so this is the verse for this week. Okay. It says it's in 2 Timothy 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, of love, and of self-discipline. I thought that was a good word. So I want everyone to look at your points from last week on your worksheet and put in the chat, or if you're on YouTube watching, you can put it on the YouTube. How many points you had last week. So just remember, you got points for bookings, you get points for faces, you get points for new team members. It's all in the workbook. So we want to see who's got a ton of points. So just put that in the chat as the night is going on, and we'll recognize you in a few minutes. And then I also, before I play our featured speaker tonight, I wanted to read something that my friend Maureen sent me today. Maureen, this is so good. So it says, I know that the Lord has big plans for you, and He has very important work that only you can do. I'm praying that you and God will make the most of your talents. The Bible verse is Ephesians 4:1. I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling that you have received. And then there's a quote. It says, it's an old saying, what we are is God's gift to us. What we become is our gift to God. I thought that was so good. Maureen, thank you for sending that to me. It will go among the things that are all uh if you don't have like things stuck up around your office, posters, verses, goals, then it's just you're just living in a glass bubble. You got to, Glory Mayfield Banks used to say, trash your house with your goals. If someone can't come in your house and know what your goal is, then it's not really a goal. Like, it should be on everything. And so I don't know if y'all that have been in a long time, y'all remember that, right? So anyway, okay, we're going to go ahead to the video. I'm going to pull it up, and it's going to work just great. But I would like for y'all to just in the chat tell me that you can hear it and see it perfectly. Can we do that? And then that way I will know for sure what's happening. Okay.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boss Babe Trailblazer edition. And I could not be more excited that Karen Rydell asked me to participate in this. And it's not by accident. It's not by accident that you're listening and you're in Mary Kay right now. And it's not by accident that Karen asked me. And all the speakers are going to serve a role in this. I promise you. Because you are part of a trailblazing DNA pioneering opportunity mission field for women. And God had to remind me about this feature of our DNA when COVID-19 happened. Pandemic happened, world shut down. My husband owns a gym and conditioning facility. We live in Michigan. Our state was closed down the soonest and possibly the longest. His business was one of the first to go. And at that point in time, I was not a digital diva. I could not have done this. I didn't have a laptop. I had a hard drive the size of a dishwasher in my home, hooked up to the wall that me and my assistant worked on, because I've been in Mary Kay 38 years. Our trailblazing was done in cars, in airplanes, hotel rooms, training centers, women's kitchen tables, offices, etc. And all of a sudden, we are sitting in our tiny little unrenovated 60-year-old lake house. And I'm realizing, well, okay, well, the majority of my income is not made from selling this product. And if we can't get product and my people can't get product, there's no income coming into our family at all. That's kind of a scary thought that I've never had in my 4 years up to that point in time. But what God reminded me is that you have been a trailblazer. You have been a pioneer all along. You were warm booked in a mall. You were raised to do a good job and get in a great school and have a good job and be a good person and go to church on Sunday and Monday through Friday, work hard and raise your family if you could figure out as a woman how to do that around that schedule. And Saturday have recreation, work to retire, have some great vacation time in between. That's what I was raised for. And then all of a sudden, I'm realizing with this job out of college that this is get up, go to work, come home, watch TV, eat dinner, go to bed. Get up, go to work, come home, watch TV, eat dinner, go to bed. At the city they choose, regardless of what's going on in my life. It doesn't matter what's going on with my family or my husband or my kids to be or aging parents or the part of the country. Doesn't matter. This is the job you're supposed to do. Period. The end. And there's something about that didn't settle well with me. I didn't like making less than men for doing the same job. I didn't like that someone else had control over my time and my finances versus my willingness and my coachability and my dreams and goals. And so voila, sitting in a mall in the middle of the day, I was warm booked to be a face model for a new consultant's portfolio. Debbie Moore made her talk to me because that new consultant, Nancy Murata, was very shy. Nancy came to my apartment, me and my roommate tried the skincare, bought basic skincare, blush rouge, yellow concealer, and loved it. And then she invited me to an event. And at that event, that's where I started to get the inkling, like, I think this is my tribe. Like, I think these are the women I'm supposed to be with. Like, they're encouraging each other. I never, ever felt like I fit in with any group. I could hang out with all the different groups, but never felt like I fit in until I married Kay. Oddly, I did feel like I fit in. And it wasn't because we were the same age, education, language, body shape, makeup preference. No, there was something about this tribe that I went, and I realized, looking back, they were trailblazers. They were women from 18 to 90, PhDs, GEDs, moms of 10 kids, single women, divorced, widowed, living all little towns, big towns, extroverted, introverted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they had a desire to blaze a new trail, to be a pioneer. And Mary Kay gave them the mission as she has given it to us. So you are a trailblazer, whether you've recognized it or not. It's in your DNA, or I don't believe that you'd be with us in Mary Kay right now, where we need women trailblazing straight to the top. If you have a leadership bent, we need you. If you don't have a leadership bent, could you please find some leaders? Your director's going to help you do that. Absolutely. And that is called passing it on, which Mary Kay Ash, she wasn't just a trailblazer for her own trail. She did this so that we would have a trail to walk on, but knowing that she couldn't know all the things that have happened in the last 62 years of this company, that everything would be shut down and our business that we prided on being in person could be revolutionized to be able to do it with a computer screen in between us. You guys, I look back at the times I was given an opportunity to make a traditional decision or an unconventional trailblazing decision. Definitely getting my starter kit that night. Post-dated check, not enough, more month than money. That was a risk, but you had electronic banking then, so I covered it. Also, too, Debbie Moore was there, and she had quit her teaching job with a pink Cadillac and a small child to be at home and make 4 times what she was making as a teacher. That was a trailblazing idea. I had not seen people go from their college-educated jobs to direct sales ever. That was pretty untraditional in the late 80s, definitely unconventional in my family. My family was not supportive. Family and friends were not supportive. In my first 36 months of Mary Kay, I signed up in Cleveland, went back to Michigan for 17 weeks while my husband went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center to become a federal agent. And then we found out we were stationed in Douglas, Arizona. And 1 year, 12 months after that, he was asked to be an instructor back at the Law Enforcement Training Center. So we moved to St. Simons Island, Georgia. My first 36 months, 4 states, 9 addresses, from Cleveland to Metro Detroit to right on the Mexican border, 9,000 people. Half didn't speak a word of English, and I didn't speak a word of Spanish. And then St. Simon's Island, small golf resort island. A lot of people move there to have that pre-retirement life or a real laid back, beautiful life. So those 4 areas, 36 addresses, and my husband going through a super intense training program that if you failed any of the tests, it was done. You were done. And he had waited 2 years to get this position. And then that 17 weeks at the academy. And then we got married and moved, his wife across the country. So that was trailblazing. That was very unconventional for his family. Mom, nurse, dad, teacher. You're going to realize, I hope, in the process of this study, that you are far more of a trailblazer and a pioneer than you've given yourself credit for. And that when God lays something on your heart, he always provides for it, always. It's just our responsibility to be obedient. And we know what obedience looks like in Mary Kay. It's book, coach, sell, recruit. Do it again. Book, coach, sell, recruit. Do it again. Whether you have a computer screen in between you or you're out with people. I can look at a couple different situations, all those moves. Did Queen's Court of Sales down in Douglas, Arizona with a flip chart in Spanish and a brochure in Spanish. It made me realize that it wasn't my personality. I didn't have to be extroverted. I didn't have to be anything other than help those women feel better about themselves. Take a translator sometimes. They handed over cash and I handed over products and did Queen's Court of Sales and earned a car at the end of that year. And then my husband's job moved us. So I went to seminar because you go to 4 events a year, because Trailblazers, we play by the rules of the game, but we're willing to figure out things because your journey is going to look different than anyone else's. But isn't that great? That is what allows us to do God first, family second, career third. See, if everyone's had to look the same, that balance would not be something that you would get to work with 100% of the time. And I guarantee you 100% of my 38 years, I've gotten to work with God first, family second, career third. Actually, this is where I met God. I knew who he was, but had no relationship. That all happened through Mary Kay. Wow, that's trailblazing right there for eternity. My son was born, fairly new director. My second year, just picked up my first Cadillac, had an emergency C-section, lived way away from family. So when people say family isn't supportive, or they live far away, or I don't have help with my kids, or it's a small town, or it's too big of a town, or I have another job. I had another job 80 hours a week when I started this. I did a perfect start in 2 weeks, did the math and said, bye-bye. And from that day forward was responsible for figuring out how to make enough money to pay for either rent or now a mortgage, to earn a car. So I no longer had a car or insurance payment, to pay for groceries, electric, the whole deal. There's been seasons of my business that my husband's made more than enough money for a whole family to live on very comfortably, GS 14 position. But there is something about this opportunity that God said, no, this has nothing to do with what your husband makes or doesn't make. I need you staying forward focused to be a trailblazer here. And now I know why, because we're in a time period in Mary Kay, batons need to be passed. We need to be finding those women while you're doing your book, coach, sell, recruit, the 4-part recruiting plan. Be out there, in front of people with the product. Nothing happens until you sell something, but this is not about selling the product. We use the product as a vehicle to meet the trailblazers, and you will know who they are because they start to lean in when you're talking about the opportunity in Mary Kay's story and where you were, where you started, and where you're going to. People aren't used to hearing women talk about goals and dreams. I had never heard that. That was not something they taught me at the University of Michigan Business School. What's your dream? Yeah, conversation never happened. Thought never happened until I was in Mary Kay. And I'm like, oh, wow, like I have no idea. I really haven't thought about a dream. I want to give you guys a book because Mary Kay said one of the keys to success was to read every single day. She was politically incorrect. She said the Bible in the morning and an inspirational book at night or sometime in the afternoon. Schedule it. No one has time just laying around to read. It has to be scheduled. All of my reading time is scheduled. But the longer I've been in Mary Kay, the more I realize I have to continue changing my thinking because my DNA is trailblazing and pioneering. I now know, but I didn't know how to do it. You may not even know how to do it. You may not even know what you don't know. I guarantee you, if you will do the Mary Kay book, coach, sell, recruit, as your director teaches you, and do it again and again and again, and get your hands on all the books that Mary Kay has read, or someone has written about her, so that you know about this ultimate trailblazer, she's going to sound a lot like you, and you're going to be excited to represent a company and trailblazers. But while you're out there, we need to be passing these batons on, because women need this business as much or more than when Mary Kay had this laid on her heart 62 years ago. When my son was 3 months old, he had to have an open heart surgery, which was on an emergency basis. I left my home in June and was in Jacksonville, Florida for a week to stabilize him, and then air ambulanced up to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I will tell you guys that was a huge turning point for me and my husband. I had Mary Kay directors drive in that weren't mine. They were not part of my lineage. They just drove in and did my meetings and helped out while I was gone at the end of a Mary Kay seminar year. My husband was a federal agent with those golden handcuff insurance benefits that I talk about. And no one gave him vacation time. No one helped him out. Actually, it was before the Family Security Act. So he took work without pay. And the great insurance we had from the government, from him being a federal agent, would pay for open heart surgery for Jake in Jacksonville, Florida, but they would not necessarily pay for the air ambulance, which was, I don't know, a lot of money, tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars, because they said he could have his surgery there. But that was 2 open heart surgeries, 2 separate open heart surgeries versus 1. There was a physician that had invented a 1-step open heart surgery for infants for tetralogy of flow. And so, you know what? I did not have that money in a savings account, but as there was something with this business, like I knew I'd regret it if I didn't try it. I also knew I'd regret if I didn't try being a Cadillac director, and did do that 6 months as a new director in a town that no one did meetings in, because the director that was there said that it was too small. She went up to Savannah or down to Jacksonville, Florida. Wow. I became a director and earned a Cadillac in 6 months. I was there on St. Simon's, gosh, for 15 years, earned 13 trips. It was the base to my $1 million units in national area, moved up to Detroit when God called me and my husband to come back home and again, trailblaze, because there was not any technology at that point in time. So I had to record all my training on cassette tapes and have 800 numbers and free conference call. I figured that all out myself. Like, that was necessary. There's going to be stuff God's going to give you strategic ideas. The book recommendation is Multiplying Your God-Given Potential by John Bevere, B-E-V-E-R-E. I love this book because it's going to teach you how God works with strategic ideas. That was like dreams. I had never heard of that before. Also, too, it's all based on Matthew 30:14 through 25. And that is what Mary Kay, that's live. Matthew 25:14 through 30. Oh, I think I'm dyslexic and maybe a little ADD. So, and social anxiety for sure. So if those are anything that you've dealt with, this business is a great way to work through it without, it's going to save you drugs and lots of counseling. God's going to use this as a powder wheel. But Matthew 25:14 through 30. Mary Kay signed that on my dollar bill when I left her home at new director training a long time ago, 36 years ago. And that whole book is about that. It's about being willing to take a risk. It's about the parable of the talents. The person that buries their talents and doesn't use it to God's full potential for you. Not for what the world sees. The world may think that you're very successful and, you have it all made, but you know that you haven't taken the steps to throw your heart across the line to reach God's full potential for you towards your big dream. And Mary Kay, she told us more so than any accolade that we could achieve. She said, if you do not hear good and faithful servant at the end, then none of the other stuff is worthwhile. That was a trailblazing statement. I had never met a woman like Mary Kay before. That was as concerned about my spiritual and my personal, my marriage and my child rearing years as she was the success that I brought to this company. She's a trailblazer. She was a pioneer. You're a trailblazer. You're a pioneer. I cannot wait to see what you do with this new discernment, focus, transformation, and work. Work hard, trust God, dream big, to see what that turns into by Career Conference and then Seminar 2025. You guys, thank you for participating. Don't squander this opportunity. This important time frame is important in Mary Kay, and you're part of it for a reason.
Okay, you guys, wasn't that awesome? Oh my word. I loved it. First of all, I want to show you a couple things in case you're like, what did she say? Okay, this is the book. Dawn is one of my mentors. So this is the book that she recommends. Y'all can take a little screenshot of it. It's so good. I mean, like I really need to start over again. She recommended it to me in June of 2021. And then, I picked it up and tried to do it again. So I really need to just go through the whole thing again. It's so good. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is check it out. Okay, I don't know if that's blurred on there, but this is the dollar bill that Mary Kay. Can y'all see that? I think my thing's on some kind of weird. Maybe I'll put it back here. Anyway, so she signed it right here, and it says Love Mary Kay, Matthew 25:14 through 30. And that is the story, the parable of the talents. And so I just cherish that, And so let's open it up to everybody to do some takeaways. At the bottom of your screen, there's a little thing that says raise your hand if you want to go ahead and do that. And then I can kind of call on you guys. And if not, you can wave your hand. So either way, and then you can unmute and just some of your takeaways. Don't everybody go at once now. Okay, Gail. Gail, you want to get us started?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me? Because I had my earbuds in.
Yep, I can.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I liked it what Dawn said at the very end. Actually, it was about Mary Kay. That Mary Kay was concerned not just about how much you were selling, but she looked at the whole person. The holistic person, the spiritual side, your family side, your relationships, everything. She wanted to know that everything was working in harmony, and that really is true. That is just Mary Kay's priorities of God first, family second, career third. That was really how Mary Kay was, and it was so good to hear Dawn reinforce that with us, that still stands true today. Because if we get out of that order, oh my gosh, it's chaos.
Yeah, so true. So true. Thank you so much, Gail. Okay, who else has something? We'd love to hear from you, consultants or directors.
Hey, I have something. Sorry, I couldn't figure out the raising of the hand.
That's okay.
I love how she said that we're responsible for figuring out how to earn enough. That kind of jumped out at me like, no, it's our responsibility to figure out how to do it. So she was basically in every position that she was placed in, she had to figure out how to make it work because she had to provide for her family.
Exactly. And I've heard her talk about when she was in Douglas, Arizona, and how she had that Spanish flip chart and could not read a lick of it. And she thought, what am I going to do? Everybody's Spanish. So she just turned it around, let them read it, and just handed the stuff out. And I've been in a situation like that in Colombia, South America. And I had an interpreter for some of it. And then some of it, I just had to kind of wing it, like I would just I took my phone and I would say what I wanted to say in English. I'd say translate to Spanish, and then I'd let them listen to it. No telling what it really said with my accent, right? But anyway, I thought that was very much of a trailblazer moment for her to do that, because how many of us would be shut down if it was a place that we could not even understand what they're saying, Okay, who else has something? Okay, Donna, you can go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Okay. What I like about it is her saying that her walk with God, she didn't really say it like this, but I can relate to that because my walk with the Lord had fallen off. And then when I joined Mary Kay, oh my gosh, it's just so powerful when you put God first and you grow within. It's just so amazing. And then it just overflows and people see it. You really don't even have to say anything. They can tell a difference, but by putting the Lord first. And I like about how everybody's journey looks differently. But when all the Mary Kay people come together, you can tell they've trusted in the Lord and they've worked hard. And then all you directors, the way y'all just encourage and build people up, that has been so a blessing in my life.
Thank you, Donna. And you know what? That just warms my heart, because you never know who you're going to sign up that's going to come on and say what Donna just said. You never know who you're touching today. So thank you, Donna, for sharing that. Okay, who else has something that they'd like to bring out? Dionetta? There you go, sister.
He said, when God lays something on your heart, he always provides. And that kind of hit me, right in the middle of the forehead, because it was really trying to work with, working full time and how to fit things in, taking care of my aging parents on the weekend. It's just like, oh gosh, so much is going on. But that just hit me. And then also with a language barrier, she did quarter sales and earned a car. And I was kind of caught up in what she was talking about. And I kind of looked down at my sheet and went through the questions. And the next question I saw was, how does her story inspire you? And it just hit me. She just didn't see obstacles. And that again was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. She just really didn't overthink it, because she had a job to do. And she's like, I got to make this work, So, and then when her son had that surgery and they had to fly him home, I mean, that was a big deal. And I knew Dawn when she was a sales director, because she'd come over here to Valdosta some. And, I just remember thinking, that is the most Valley Girl, Michigan talker I have ever seen in my natural born life. I never thought that our paths would stay connected all these years, and that she would be one that has inspired me so much. And so, but that was a big deal with that baby having that surgery and her leaving, and the directors locally coming and helping doing her meetings while she was gone. You don't see that in other jobs, right? And I've had people do that for me. And I know y'all probably have seen that too in Mary Kay. And so I just love that. Okay, who else had?
I can't
Okay.
find my little hand. You're gonna
That's
have to
all
do a
right,
little
girl.
training.
My little hand is like at the bottom where it says audio, video, participants, chat, react, raise hand. But yours may not be that, but it's okay.
It's
I got
okay.
you.
Okay, so what I want to say is, in her story, she was recruited in the mall, booked in the mall, did the facial, bought the skincare, went to a meeting, and she felt that she was in the tribe. Like, it didn't matter the background, the age, the statistics, the nothing. And that's what I love about Mary Kay. And we just meet so many women that maybe they don't fit in another group, or maybe their work situation is not what Mary Kay can provide, and they see that. And I just love that she pointed that out.
I do too. It makes you think of like little girls in school that got bullied or didn't fit in, or they weren't sports, or they weren't a cheerleader, and they just don't know where to go. And that's why a lot of people get in gangs, right? Because people want to belong. And where Mary Kay, she said that it was that people were in 18 to 90 years old, and everybody fit together. They were sisters. So thank you. Okay, Stephanie, let's go with you next. Excuse me.
All right. Thanks for the instructions. I've never figured out raise my hand till now too. That was so
You're
easy.
so
Thank you.
welcome.
So what she said at the very end, don't squander this or my opportunity. It's so easy, right? Do this instead. Do this instead. No, just stop overthinking it and do what needs done. And really what we have to do can be done even in 5-minute time frames. And if we do even 5 minutes like every hour, or more, but those consistencies add up to a lot of activity. We can tell ourselves we're too busy, we're too busy. Well, this is very important too for even the other person. And then the what we do for the other person will be blessed back to us. So perhaps after this series, since we're on week 5 already, maybe we can maintain a Monday 8 o'clock and do a book club with that book.
Well, we
Thanks
might
for
just do
tonight.
something like that. I'm gonna ponder it.
And it seems like, with everybody's testimony tonight that Dawn really has touched head and heart. So I think this is going to be a powerful week for everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Christine, if you
Hey,
want to unmute.
okay.
There
Yeah,
you
I was
go,
trying to
girl.
unmute. I think I kept
Okay.
muting. Hey, I did figure out the hand after you told us where it was at just now.
Oh,
So thank
good.
you very
Okay.
much. I didn't know where it was either. Hey, listen, I loved how she brought out where she was like, she figured out what it was she needed and just booked the time in, and just like she scheduled the reading time in the morning and in the evening. If you schedule it in, you'll do it. And I just thought that was really good, that how she just broke that down, and everything else just works off of it. Anyway, I just thought it was great. Every time I've heard her speak, it's been wonderful. And I am going to order that book. So thank you for showing us what it looked like.
Oh, yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, Maureen and then Angela.
Well, that's what I was going to say, was protecting my time, but I did have something else. Protecting our time for reading, or for allowing God to work through us through study in the Bible and other leadership books, is something that I've only just recently in the past couple years put as a priority. I didn't realize how much of a priority it is. And I hear other people, like, they read 10 pages of a leadership book every morning after their Bible study. So that's really important. But one of the things I love about Dawn all the time is that she doesn't overcomplicate it. She never overcomplicates it. It's book, coach, sell, recruit, 4-point recruiting plan, period, end of story. Don't make it complicated. Just get to work. And I just love how she bottom lines that all the time. And I'm just so grateful for her. Anyways, so that was it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And someone wanted me to show the book again. Let me just pull it up here for a second. So this is the book, John Bevere, Multiply Your, here we go. It's not wanting to focus. What have I got this dumb video on? Anyway, Multiply Your God-Given Potential. And if you look in the chat, Maureen has put the link because she's so smart that way. So thank you. Okay, Angela, come on, sister. Tell us what you got.
Hi there. The one thing that really stuck out, in addition to everything that others were saying, when she said about that area that she was able to build because another director had looked over this small town, and then that was where she really took off. And I feel like sometimes it's easy for us small town girls that, I mean, we live in towns that just have a couple thousand people in them. And you can sometimes get caught in the trap of thinking, oh, well, that's only available for people that live in big cities. But no, that's ridiculous. We have an abundance of opportunity right here. And that just really encouraged me to seek out those opportunities.
I love that. That's so true. At one time, my little town of Dasher, I think it has like, well, I think it has 800 people, but when I joined Mary Kay, I think it had 400. And I know in my little church I went to, at one time I was sitting there and I'm like, I had 26 beauty consultants that went to my church, and there's like less than 200 people. And so, of course, when people signed up, we're like, look, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to get some people outside of this church because we pretty much got it wrapped up and we knew we had to go. Like they talked about, Linda Tupin talked about, 30 minutes over here, 30 minutes over here, and spread our little wings out of our little small town. But the thing about small towns is that they don't have as much to do as the big town. So you don't have a lot of competition. So if somebody's having a Mary Kay skincare party, that's like the thing to do that night because there's not that much else going on. So that's a good point. Thank you, Angela. Okay, anybody else have anything before we wrap it up tonight?
Hey, Cleta.
Okay, go ahead, Sayla.
I just want to say that when I listened to Dawn, as she talked those 20 minutes, I thought this is a person that no matter what speed bump, obstacle that she came upon, she did not quit. She kept going, and it served her well. I mean, she's a national sales director and has been. I know that so often we have little bumps in the road and we think, oh my gosh, maybe this isn't for me, or oh my goodness, maybe this isn't my time. But instead, she kept going. It may have slowed her down a little bit, but she used those obstacles to really propel her business. And because of that, she has just helped thousands of people. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sayla. And Stephanie, you were waving. Did you want to do a birthday shout out to Angela? Was her birthday yesterday?
Yes, her birthday was yesterday, and today's her mom's birthday. So happy
right.
birthday, Angela.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. Okay, so I'm going to end with this. Just to show you the impact Mary Kay has on people's lives. So I had a beauty consultant, a friend of mine, sign up. She's about 10 years older than me. I was in my 20s. She's in her 30s. And to join my team back in the 80s. Okay. And right after I became a sales director, and she passed away on Sunday, and her name's Sandra Watley. But I want to share with you that, I reached out to her son and I said, listen, we're praying for you. I said, we love Sandra so much. And he's like, well, she sure loves y'all. And so I reached out to my unit. They're all praying for her. And, she did go home to be with Jesus. But what I want to tell you is that, like, they then text another one of my personal team members who's good friends with her and said, we need pictures. And so that girl, Ann Dawkins, she says, Cleta, we need pictures for the slideshow for the funeral. So I went out to my storage room because in this new house, I used to have all my albums inside, and went through like 15 photo albums from 1985 to today. And, got all these beautiful pictures of her through the years, going to seminar, going to career conference, going to different events at unit meetings, Christmas parties, all the fun things, January Jumpstart, crazy pictures, and then, pictures with sashes and crowns. And I was just thinking about her because she called me Saturday. Sayla was in the car with me Saturday, like a week before she passed away. And she said, hey, I just didn't know if you knew I was in the hospital. And she said, I'm having kidney problems. And she's telling me, she goes, I know I need to place an order. I just want to tell you, I know I need to place a Mary Kay order, but I'm in the hospital. I just wanted you to know. I know you probably wonder what's going on. And, I'm just saying, like, you got someone signed up probably, I would say 35 years ago, and she's in the hospital with her kidneys shutting down, and she's still thinking about Mary Kay, y'all. And in a good way, though, like wanted me to know that she goes, I really need an order. I said, girl, do not worry about your Mary Kay order till you get home, But going through those pictures, I just thought, and of course, I saw way more than just Sandra. I saw Sandra Griffin, I saw Sayla, Sayla, all my friends, all through the years, and I'm like, what a life we live in Mary Kay. And it made me think, I'm glad I recruited Sandra Watley, And so when you are out sharing this business with people, think about that. You may sign someone up that 30 years from now, she's still selling Mary Kay and still loves it as much as she did when she signed up. You know what I mean? So let's just remember what we have as a trailblazer and don't think about, oh, she won't want to do it. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she, right? Don't belittle our opportunity because maybe what you sold last week. Don't base it on that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I recruited her. I mean, like I just became a director. I've been in just like less than 3 years. It's not like I had any kind of pink Cadillac or anything like that. She did it because she was a good customer. She loved the product, and she also liked me, and she wanted to help me reach a goal. And then, 30 something years later, she stayed with Mary Kay all these years. So I think it's just a legacy about people that stay in so long. So anyway, y'all can take that for what it's worth. And thank you all who did pray for her. That was my friends. Anyway, I'm not going to get all teary-eyed because she is in heaven. So we will see you guys next week. We do have week number 6 is next week. And then I believe, let me look at something real quick because I think there is a little, like a last one. Hang on if I can. Okay, here we go. Yes, there is a week 7. Okay, so we've got 2 more weeks with this, and then we're going to have a little wrap up on week 8 and talk about a few things. And hey, we might do a little book club or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So anyway, thank you so much for being on here tonight. Congratulations for everybody that is already registered for Career Conference. Did anybody put your points down here? I'm sorry, because I forgot to look. No, they did not. So you guys, tighten up on your points. So next week we can see who got some points, because I know that we have people that got team members and that have facials and that did so great. So tell your sales director how many points you have, even if you don't tell it on here. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we will see y'all next week.